Yeah.
This is date night.
Okay, I think we're live. So you should be able to pull down.
There we go.
And see it on old local celebrity Paige Crawford's page.
Oh, there.
There we are.
We're live. Okay,
we're live.
Yay!
We're sharing our margarita.
That is weird.
Everyone's sharing. Stand by Facebook. Hang with us, because everyone's got to share
actually,
on their own books of face. Because we're all talking.
Share this.
Everybody pick up your phone and talk to this
This
little
is a very exciting podcast.
6-year-old kid who's listening on us.
Wow, 6-year-old kid?
Yeah.
I just want to see
His
that.
mom just mouthed.
I want to see how delayed it is.
Pretty delayed.
Is that my volume?
Yeah, we gotta turn your volumes.
Yeah, everybody turn your volume off.
Oh, on your phone.
Fascinating content for Facebook so far.
So I just put live from Mevo as the caption, so kind of blew that. Yeah. What is that?
That's Mevo.
Fascinating.
Right out of the gate.
I'm sweating already.
Yeah, it's always hot here.
God, it's so, right? I forget you guys do it in here too. I know.
Live from Mevo. It's Saturday night.
Oh, everybody knows what Mevo is.
Did you fix it?
No,
No,
I didn't know. It's still
good.
live from Mevo, which I think is so bad that people will click on.
Well, nobody knows how to say Huga anyway, so now we're calling
Live
it
from
Mevo. Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
I'm incredibly invested in how many people are watching this. I'm watching it go 10, 9, 8, 7, 9.
Don't flip it over because you'll even make you crazy. Why they switch off? Why are they on?
One of your ass.
Yeah.
I see you leaving.
All right.
Cut point.
And we're live in the studio. This is like roles reversed here. This is super exciting. I want to.
So fun.
Yeah, so let's go around the table first. Welcome to another
There's
episode
7,000 of us.
of Date Night with Jake and Paige. There's about 45 people in the room. But let's just jump right in. Let's go around the table. And I'm going to start with you, Bradford. Can we go full name?
Of course, yeah. Bradford Mark Corrier.
Oh.
Oh,
Brad Corrier.
No, because it'll depress me and Jake.
yeah.
I'm just here with her.
Okay.
Who's
And
that?
her is?
Her is Lauren Levine
Okay.
of the Margarita Confessionals.
Heyo.
Hi. This is so exciting.
I know.
Yay.
Hey, it's Allie Washburn of the Margarita Confessionals
hi.
and my boyfriend.
I'm Philip Edgar Peter Reinhardt, also known as Phil Reinhardt.
You
And I
have
live
four
life
names.
on Earth.
Yes.
You
Okay.
needed a second to you were like, it's okay.
The lean is big. I know they're
I
sharing
know.
like so. We should give you a little bit of background here. You guys really kind of were. Jake had been doing some podcasting, but about a year we decided 3 months ago. Lori and Allie invited Jake and I onto their podcast, Margarita Confessionals, and it was my first podcast ever. I think I didn't even know what a podcast was. We had a blast with you
It was
guys.
so fun.
You guys interviewed us just
Yep.
about dating and our story and what have you. And then we said, let's copy their idea and do our own.
Yeah, this is
better than we do it.
no, stop. I mean, can you just hear her voice? Like, they've got the best audio voices ever, the two of them. And you and I are like kind of just gravelly loudmouths
No,
over
you're
here.
right.
We're like this.
Welcome to Date Night and drinking margaritas. All right, let's start there.
We didn't bring margaritas.
We didn't bring margaritas.
I heard you guys say you get so fed up with everyone bringing you margaritas everywhere you go. And
We said that.
Interesting.
Who told you that?
I did my research and I listened to the podcast where you had your boys on and you did Ben Talal and you said at one point, and everybody brings us margaritas and it gets old. So he goes, we gotta pick up margaritas. And I go, no. We cannot pick up margaritas because they're going to hate us.
We still like margaritas. We
Yeah.
actually are secretly vodka drinkers.
I know. But the drink
We
we
just
like
secrets out.
looks like a margarita,
Yeah.
so
What
it's
is it?
okay.
What
It's
is
a
it?
vodka soda with a splash of pineapple.
Ooh.
It's fun and
Technically, almost fell out
Jake's
of the
actually drinking a few of those beforehand.
All right. Just as I coached you guys specifically on just go with it if I adjust the levels, and now I have to go edit that.
Well, you fell on the table.
You slammed into the table.
Okay, I hate all of you right now.
Yeah.
I am in charge of the levels. It's the worst job ever. All right. So tell me, how do we get to the Margarita Confessionals? The name, like, where did that start? Give me the origin story on that before.
3 years? 2 years?
2 years.
2 years. We have like 106 episodes, and
Wow.
Good grief.
Yep.
we knew we wanted to start a podcast, and we knew we needed a good name. So we sat at Chopped one day, our favorite place in the whole world, and wrote down a ton of names and ton of just word associations. And
I still have the sheet.
Yeah.
We were almost going to be the brunch files.
Oh, that's
Which is a
right.
good
I
one.
remember
Which
that.
was
That's a
good,
one, yeah.
But
then
we
people will
landed
bring you
on-
brunch. And
yeah,
that's better
yeah.
with margaritas.
Yeah. A lot of eggs Benedict.
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay.
Right.
But yeah, we landed on the Margarita Confessionals, and went from there.
Yeah, went
We
from there.
recorded the first episode in my living room with my dog, and it did not go well. It's okay. It exists. It lives out there somewhere. But
Sadly.
As it should.
then we got hip to the studio.
And it has really kind of, you've grown into like a cultural force in Charlotte. You know, everybody, truly you have. I mean, you know that. You know, you guys do events now. You've got sponsorships. It's turned into other deals for you. And the coolest thing, you know, to me, and we've talked about when we met you guys, and when you started the podcast, neither one of you was dating.
Yeah.
At the time, seriously.
Yeah,
Right?
I think we were secretly dating.
Wait a minute.
Because
Are we breaking something here?
well, I listened to your podcast.
Oh, yes.
What?
Yes. This
And
is breaking news. We're
you
7
said-
minutes
That's
in.
always happens.
You said that you were both single, and I was like, was I single? And so I went and looked, and we had been dating, but I wasn't really talking about it. So for a while, I thought we both really need to be single for the podcast to like make sense.
Right.
And,
Oh.
So you weren't talking about
I
openly
wasn't-
that you were
I
consistently
wasn't
dating
open
someone.
about my relationship, and now I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Good
Okay.
to know.
All right, and then so it has evolved from there. So
Yeah.
let's bring them in. Hi guys, welcome
Hey.
back.
We're here.
At what point did the two of you come into the picture?
Well, Phil came in before.
Yeah.
Before the picture.
Yeah,
I don't. I'm trying to look at the timeline here, but when we started dating, and
Like right now.
They started dating right before the show started. Got
It
it.
was like the
Did Phil? I think Phil blacked out because I think. Are we sure it was Phil
I don't
when we
know.
recorded
I
that
don't
first? That's okay.
no,
Just gonna roll with it.
no. We started dating around, where we started seeing each other on Valentine's Day, and then we took a trip to Charleston. And at that point, we knew that we were compatible with each other, and that we could tolerate each other to a point of we could go out of town and discover new things and go on adventures and really see what's going on there. So she did disclose that she was part of a podcast. And this
From
is
the
what
get-go?
Yeah, this is what it was about. I'm like, okay, so I thought I was part of a dating experiment at that point, and I was waiting for the hidden camera, the hidden microphone to pop out of the bush and ask me some secret questions or whatever and see how the date went. But
Why does the word podcast throw people so much? It's like, I don't know what this podcast is. It's
Well,
cameras,
I think people
drones.
your
and-
age know what podcasts are. To
Yeah.
me, it would more probably freak me out, if you hear that the person you're with is with anything public talking about
Yeah.
dating. And
Right.
right, because you immediately think like, I'm going to be the character on the Sex and the City episode. Because
Exactly.
right? And, I mean, red flag.
yeah,
Yeah.
Right?
that was something that definitely, you know, we discussed that early on when she, you know, told me the first time she told me about the podcast and what it's about. You know, my thought was, I'm John Mayer and this is Taylor Swift,
Yeah.
and this is, you know, when is it gonna break? When it, you know, is it gonna end in the summertime and then I get a song or a podcast
Yeah.
episode written?
Oh
It's
my
like
gosh,
the
I
I have
love
a
that.
child. It's like the I have a child conversation on The Bachelor.
Yeah.
Like you sit down, and you're like, I need to tell you something.
I thought I was going to be made an example of where she was would be ranting or raving about me or whatever on the.
Oh, definitely ranting.
Which he probably would have if he would have done me wrong. He would have been made an example of. Let's be honest.
So that was my biggest fear. But as soon as I knew that wasn't the case, and that was made clear that I was comfortable with. She's been very successful, so I can't. They've been very successful, so I really can't say anything against that. Now they can do what they want.
And, well, because you stick to some kind of ground
Go with
rules
the
too,
flow a little
right?
bit, you know.
Yeah.
To some extent. I mean, you don't like devil. You know, I don't know that you do. You have you talked about that? Are there sort of like this is okay, this is not okay, kind of? No, you just sort of anything
There
goes.
have been topics though, and like maybe Allie will feel comfortable talking about it, and I won't, or vice versa. And we're like, okay, maybe we're not going to go there. But with people we've dated in the past, it's like fair
That's
game,
fair,
whatever,
yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
But with these guys, it's more private.
Yeah.
As it should be.
Like, are there any instances where you're maybe out to dinner or more intimate, and you have to say like,
Watching Netflix.
okay, we're chilling, and you have to say this is not going to be on the podcast, right?
No,
No.
I think
I usually say this is going to make the podcast.
Yeah.
It's the other way around.
You're real.
Just FYI, this is going to be on the
Yeah, this
next
is totally going to be the podcast. I got to listen next week.
Yeah.
But then sometimes, like I'll talk to my mom, or I'll look at the topic, the subject, and I'm like, oh, okay, I see where this is going.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, he doesn't really listen. His mom listens,
Yeah.
so
Does
she
she?
reports to him about what we talked about on the show.
Oh,
That's really funny.
Yeah, it's great.
my parents do not listen. They do not
Okay.
know how to make the voice work.
what's our podcast?
Listen to the podcast. So I think with us, it's actually probably arguably the other way around, where my initial trepidation from like, oh my God, everything we say is going to be talked about, I must have just given off incredibly horrible facial expressions or what, because I think that sometimes it's now where she's asking, is this okay? And I'm like, of course that's okay. I'm not a public figure, but like, I mean, my name is Brad Corrier. I'm a State Farm agent. I'm not hidden.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
You know,
Yeah.
there you go. No free ads.
Yeah, there you go.
Free ads.
And I don't know if they're showing up right here. I think I'm blocking you. I'm looking at the live stream.
Good.
The
As
pants
long as you block my head.
the pants are so legit. Can you stand? I mean, can we get a little shot of Sam?
Oh,
Look at
you
the
are.
Oh my gosh.
missed
Let me
them
get
when
out
you
of the
walked
frame
in.
here. So, I didn't miss them at all.
I said, how did I miss them?
Oh,
Because
I
I was
don't know.
distracted by my own tracksuit, I guess.
You were distracted by your own clothing
I
choice.
just stared down at my own.
Oh my
It's like
gosh.
this tracksuit is so good.
So comfortable.
So good.
All right, Lauren and Brad, let's stay with you guys. So you weren't together. We were on when we were on the show, which was like a year and a half
Yep.
ago. Now you're together. So
Yep.
has it been about a year?
It's been exactly a year, February 4th.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hey, oh my
Happy
gosh.
anniversary.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Super Bowl Sunday
Yep.
was
Happy
was
anniversary.
the kind of
Thank
full circle year. So we're actually going to Blowing Rock tomorrow night
To celebrate?
to take a midweek
Oh, no, oh my god, I
midweek
love that.
vacation.
Good
yeah.
for you
So,
guys.
Yeah. And you mentioned State Farm. So tell the listeners, oh my gosh, 1,074, no, 7. I remember that. 7
It was 9-10 minutes
I
ago.
got
by the way.
It's just fun Tuesday.
We have
There's
7 people watching?
listeners on live right now. She's legitimately disappointed at that. No, what you both,
Come on,
what you
guys.
both
My mom
do.
and my dad are two of them.
I know.
Yeah.
What you both do, and then how the last year's been.
Yeah, I guess I'll start that. So I am a State Farm agent. I just opened up my business 2 years ago, January. So new business owner. You know, she wasn't around for year one of that, which I think is the best possible thing
Yes.
for our relationship, because year one was difficult. But you know, I'm happy where I'm at. Having your name on the door is nice.
Yeah.
And you know, it's been owning your own business provides flexibility to do things like we talked about, right? I mean, we have a chance to go to Blowing Rock on a Wednesday night to celebrate our 1 year, which the typical 9 to 5, it's a little bit harder to do that when you got to run it through HR. So
Yeah.
I think that's nice, and you know, her obviously having entrepreneurial ventures too is kind of a thing.
Yeah, so you got articles popping up all kinds of places.
Yes, I'm a freelance writer. I've written for American Way magazine. I'm writing for Thrillist. I've just started writing for Bumble, which is actually how we met. So
Hey, now.
yeah.
And then didn't they hear that and like send you guys a gift pack or something?
So I posted about Brad because I was editing my show, and you know, a lot of guys would be like, "Come on, hurry up, let's spend some time together." But he just made me a really nice vodka soda with a splash of pineapple, and I was like,
Yeah,
"This
he
guy
did.
is amazing." And
Yeah.
so they sent me a gift basket of like
He
matching
is amazing.
T-shirts and hats. He is amazing,
They're
hats
awesome,
and stuff like that. So they are very, very good.
That's
I love
very
them.
fun.
Yeah,
So you guys been on Bumble.
Yep.
And it's been a year.
it's been a year. Yep.
And are you living together?
We are. I just moved in.
You did too, okay, because you guys are too, right?
Yeah.
Look at you girls, you weren't getting all grown up.
I know,
on
I
us.
know.
I know. None of this was in place before. So, and you guys have been together 2 years. Met on Tinder?
Met on Tinder
Okay.
on Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting.
Another
Yeah.
anniversary approaching.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
First message on Valentine's Day.
Sup? You up? You
So,
out?
so you want to go on a Valentine's Day date? No.
You want to go to Blowing Rock? Let's go. Actually, no. We have to go somewhere else. We got it. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So I do the podcast, obviously, and I also own NC Yoga Bar. So we do pop-up yoga all over the city. So I'm busy all the time, but it's fun.
Cool.
That's
Yeah.
where I wore my spandex in
Yeah.
honor of you.
I'm wearing mine too.
There you go. And you're a mechanic for NASCAR?
No, I'm
Oh, sorry. Did I get that wrong? Oh,
I'm
gosh,
gonna be
sorry.
kind of cryptic on this one, but
Oh.
I'm the chief mechanic for a racing team that's run
Not
by
NASCAR.
not NASCAR, run by a major automobile manufacturer. So I don't know if I'm allowed to say it on air.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
then don't say it.
So just to, we're gonna need to cut this part.
No, it's okay.
You
No.
better say it. You better
Don't
say
have
it.
to
We are
kill
working on
us.
ratings
Starts
right
with
now.
a B, ends with an E.
It rhymes,
Oh,
it
rhymes
rhymes with
Porsche.
Porsche.
Oh
Oh.
god, I was gonna be like Benz,
Porsche.
Mercedes Benz,
Porsche. the
Porsche.
soup.
Love Porsche.
And you're head mechanic, you said? Chief
Yeah,
mechanic?
yeah,
What's
chief
your-
mechanic. Yes.
So are you super handy?
Wait a minute.
As much
Where's
as I
this
can.
going?
I
Yeah.
know.
Yes,
What's this?
as much as I
Mike's
can be. I
doing
do have a honey-do list that I need to like knock some things up, but
Yeah.
it keeps growing larger
Oh.
as the days go on. So.
Yeah.
I mean, you come home from a trip and it's like, you know.
So you could do the stuff on it, you just don't.
Yes.
Is it
Correct.
true? Is it true? Because I use this. It's like the mechanic's got actually the worst car in the neighborhood because he's busy all day and.
I think my car's pretty good. I don't drive a Porsche.
I do. I own 3 Porsches.
That's the number one question people always ask.
Is it? Oh, all right. Well, I feel
do you drive a Porsche? No, not the.
Oh.
It's the do you drive a Porsche?
Oh. Love this. Can you please keep this going?
But no, his car, it's fine. It's not the nicest car on the block. It used to be worse.
God.
Yeah.
When we first met.
I did drive a Toyota Yaris because I didn't care about my car. But now I drive something better.
Okay.
So how have your respective careers kind of melded into each other? Because that inevitably happens. So are you going to more races? Do we have to like go to different
No, you can
races?
say races. No.
Yeah.
She's been to one.
Yeah.
But the
Super
races
supportive.
are
Big
typically
fan.
Yeah, super supportive.
The races are typically longer than your normal NASCAR race because I don't work in NASCAR.
Right.
So put that out there
I'm
again.
sorry.
Yeah. Just friendly reminder.
Also, I'm pretty involved with my career and what I do, so I really don't have a lot of time to do tours and show around and do a lot of explaining because there's a lot of, I'm almost like a producer or director where I have to let people know what they need to do and where they need to be and things like that. So
Thank you for putting in terms. I understand.
Love that. Yeah.
PT does not exist on a race weekend, and I apologize ahead of time for that. And also some of these races
Is that physical touch? What is
Yeah,
it?
what's
No.
PT?
Physical
PT?
therapy?
Personal time.
Personal
I didn't know
time.
that. You didn't know that, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
PT,
I
like
sorta
PTO?
did.
I thought he meant like
Oh,
physical
I know.
therapy.
PTO is paid time off.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's how I
Oh,
interpreted what he said.
Personal time, like
Oh,
okay,
so
hold on, I'm gonna take 5 and give a tour. I'm
Big PT
gonna
guy.
go to our catering and
Oh,
have
got
a
it.
couple of drinks or whatever. That doesn't
Doesn't
exist.
happen.
I feel like the tours have bothered you over the years. You mentioned
No,
tours
no,
a
no. I can
couple
do tours. It's just like, hold on, I gotta answer this question, or hold on, I gotta
Yeah.
I gotta fix this issue here. Real quick.
I'm producing Porsches.
Yeah,
Leave me alone.
it's like cut.
Yeah, cut. Yeah, exactly.
So
That's a wrap. What is he talking about?
Going to a race isn't that fun for me, so it's in cool
Because
places.
he's on.
So I like to go to the cool
It's like
places.
going to a wedding with your significant when they're in the wedding.
Yeah.
You don't see them.
I don't see them, so I go
Yes.
with the
Yeah.
other girls, like the other wags.
Yeah.
I like to say wags because
Yeah.
they sound
Did
cool.
you see how she's doing that with her hair?
I know, hair flip.
Wow.
That stands for wives and girlfriends.
Yeah, of like sports
Yes,
teams.
yes.
So if they're going, I'll go, but I don't really go.
Yeah.
And they're all over the country, and
Okay, so do Porsches typically race outside of the U.S.? That seems like an outside of the U.S. thing.
well, yes, we have we do race a schedule that is within the United States, and then we also race one that's outside the United States. But we mainly participate in the ones that are within the continent of the United States or North America. And this year we're going to Le Mans in France.
Le Mans.
Le Mans.
Right.
Blamont, no S. Blamont. That's awesome.
So-
Cool. I wish I could hear more, but you're being super vague and dodgy. So
And
we'll talk after.
we're the only ones that think this B joke is that funny
No.
too, so we should probably move on.
No, the
Both of them.
3 people
Yeah.
are really feeling this. All right, and what about you guys? So, like, we're both in financial services, right?
Lauren has a lot of life insurance.
Yeah.
I
Oh, wow.
actually have a
That sounds-
congenital heart defect,
That's
so I
a
don't.
murder.
I mean, I
let's
don't.
keep
I
that.
don't.
Wow.
State Farm doesn't know about that.
Okay, well, they just got you literally
Now I don't have
aimed
to
at the mic and said that.
No, so I mean, I think the biggest, obviously, yeah, financial services and podcasting are not a natural meld, but I think it's the core of what we do, which is, at the end of the day, you guys are salespeople too, right? You're trying to sell the podcast to sponsors. You're trying to, sell the segments to Fox or CBS or NBC or whatever.
Nope,
so,
we
Do we
only
get a
sell
kickback from
there we
that?
go. Yeah, see?
Wow, why would you put other call letters in there?
No
Gosh.
free ads, I'm sorry.
Yes, seriously. Tell
but-
me how all states do it, champ. Come on.
But no, I think that's not for nothing. That even though the industries are completely separate, I can get creative ideas from her because of a conversation she's had with a client that would not even be close to what I'm thinking, and likewise. So I would say the biggest thing that she's helped me is from managing the business, right? Because you guys don't really have anyone to manage. It's just you two, so it's pretty easy to manage your employees.
I don't know.
Which is, that's the biggest
Oh,
part.
this guy, he seems hard to manage.
That's the big. Well, Phil, you can talk to this too, because I'm sure that torsion mechanics are
It's Borsha.
hard to get a hold of and hard to
say it right, it's
corral.
Borsha.
It's like herding cats. But I think
it's more
that's
like
it.
adult daycare.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy probably for a lot of,
Well, I think we
I'm
can
more
all
like
say
a
that.
personal life problem solver than I am like a car problem solver.
Right.
It's in that, yeah.
But I'm like, so for you, Lauren, like, how do you juggle like where to put your best content? Do you ever like run into that? Like,
It's really hard.
I want to write an article about this, but that would be an amazing
It's
Marg pod.
But it does feed into each other. So, I've written an article for Bumble that's coming out, and I'm like, okay, that's actually a good topic for the show.
Yeah.
Now, who are we going to have as a guest based around that? So it kind of, there's like a synergy, even though I hate that word, that works. But I found that I used to have a blog. I had a blog for 5 years, and when we started the podcast, that blog has since died.
Why? Because it was just the same content? Or
Same
you
content,
have,
and I'm one person. I have a limited amount of time and energy, so you kind of got to channel the creative energy, and I'd rather have it go on the podcast than a blog that I'm not really getting paid. I'm not getting paid for, and I don't really see a financial upside to it.
Whereas
so.
the podcast takes off.
Right.
And, yeah.
Right.
So for you guys, I'm just curious because, and I listened to that you did. I think I've referenced it before, but you did a Men Tell All in the past week or two, right? For Margarita Confessionals podcast.
Yep.
Where you
Aaron
guys
Dodge
came
was on there, right? You had Aaron? Or was it?
No,
No,
I'm
Andy
talking
Go.
about
Andy Go.
Aaron was our first guest.
Got
Aaron
it.
Dodge
I'm
was our
sorry.
first guest.
I'm talking about the Men Tell All where the
Yes.
you guys
Oh, these guys
yes, right?
came on.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I assume most people listening to this will have heard that because they know you guys from that, so they
Right.
know kind of some of the backstory kinds of things and things. But I am curious too, because you obviously get along and you do stuff. How much of that, like, you're best friends.
Right.
You guys are close enough, I guess, right? Do you socialize? Yeah. Do you socialize with each other aside from them when you guys go? They do?
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually do.
Aww.
You can take that, Phil. if you like.
You didn't know each other before the
Absolutely.
girls,
No,
right?
we've formed
We
our
did
own
not.
LLC,
Right.
which is our own
Right.
which is our own corporation.
MargSucks.net.
Hardcore.
Hardcore. He's Ryan Hardcore. You're
Oh my
So
gosh.
hardcore.
We-
Come on!
We have
So we
club,
have-
Wait, can I be in it?
we have
So we have board
club
meetings.
meetings.
Hardcore fails?
We have board meetings. We have board meetings once a month.
Yeah.
Or we try to do it every 2 weeks, but we usually have it once a month.
And they
we bring
involve-
topics.
Beers.
Definitely, that is part of it. But there's a hit list that we need to hack through, and we're all good.
Yeah.
Time out.
Okay,
What
I
is it?
love this.
Hold on. What is a hit list usually?
It's just like,
consist of?
you know,
Just,
so
just topics that we need to cover.
what we're really
Like
doing is
the
we're
headlines?
creating-
What is this?
We're
Absolutely.
creating topics for a rival podcast.
I was going to say,
Oh,
is it one of
please.
the
Which
podcasts?
is yet
That is one of the sections. That is
Right.
one of the.
If I'm not one of your first 40 guests, I will be.
I mean, Hardcore Failing has a really good ring to it.
Hardcore Failing.
It takes it downhill. It's like hardcore fails. Fails.
Wait, Jake,
I know
you could
you're
be
kinda
a
happy-
segment, like you could be
There you
like
go.
a not top 10 segment.
Oh.
Hey guys, it's Jake. I'm out of time. Like you just cut me like immediately. Wow. So wait, I know you're kind of joking, but kind of not. Like
No, no, we're not joking at all.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my
We
God, I
do,
love
though.
that.
We do carve out time to, because it is. He's on the road all the time, and
Will you please help me with this mic?
Sorry, I keep turning
Will
it
the
away.
professionals please help the booze?
for all
with
you
the mic?
listeners out there in
Yeah.
America, I apologize.
We need those buttery tones.
I have lost my my podcasting abilities over the holiday season. So, but yeah, we do. I think it is important, and I'll go back to something that they said at their live podcast. That men in general, we don't really carve out enough time to just be friends.
Oh damn, we're about to get vulnerable over this
Wait,
thing.
I'm going to call Nicholas on that. I'm going to call
No.
Dudes Weekends,
Oh, we
guys'
sorry,
nights.
once a
still
year.
talk about
Sorry.
dude stuff.
Okay.
Trust me.
Okay.
But
Oh.
Wait,
We need to align our views and
Yeah.
our opinions on things, and that's what we do.
I'm about to take my
and
headphones
we're a
off.
vault, by the
There's
way.
hardcore
We're
meetings.
a vault.
Seriously.
Let me in.
We are a vault.
Jake, can you guys
Right.
just tell Jake he's invited so he can get off?
Hey, just tell me I'm in.
That's it.
Just
I
wait
would.
for
I would.
Sam.
I
I'm
would
trying to Porsche.
Yeah.
Sam, I'm gonna start wearing salmon pants tomorrow, like bonobos and Porsches. Like that's it, bonobos and Porsches, dudes. No, am I out? I'm out.
I wouldn't categorize it as an airing of grievances because we don't have grief. I mean, like
Oh yeah,
obviously,
you're perfect friends.
We're
No.
perfect.
But
Girls, actually.
but it is. I think it is important to have. Hey, Phil gonna say something to me. It's not gonna get to Lauren. It's not gonna get to
That is an important. Okay, that's
Right,
actually
yeah,
very
yeah.
interesting.
So-
Do you have that kind of?
We
That's
do.
a hard line to draw,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
for
let
sure.
just because you guys may not know, Allie and Lauren, I don't know if you know, but So we cross every line possible in our lives. We live with our family on family compound. We're the only ones who live on the compound yet, but my brother is going to move there within a month or two. It's he started it, the whole thing.
That's actually poison you're drinking.
Yeah. And
come on over.
Yeah, drink the Kool-Aid.
What does this rag smell like?
We all have
slow release, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So my sister-in-law's sister also will be living there, and then a friend / coworker or whatever. So, and Jake now works for the company as well. Like literally everybody.
All eggs
in one basket.
Yeah.
But I totally get the like. What's appropriate conversations to have with these people? What's appropriate? Can you tell this to me and it's not going to go to him, or should it go to him? I mean, is that unspoken? Do you kind of feel it out in terms and like? Just kind of between the two of you, you kind of know like this is something that you keep between us, vice versa.
I mean, it's almost been like intuition to this point. Like it hasn't been like we haven't sat down and said, okay, well, these 5 topics. If Phil tells me about them, Lauren, you're not going to learn about them because I know that you'll tell Allie, right? It's just been, I don't know. We just kind of know. And again, I don't want the listeners in America to think that there are so many grievances out there that we're just like I'm just filled up with these things I can't talk about. It's just, I think that that's just how Phil and I have approached our relationship from day one. Like Phil is Allie's boyfriend and we are connected via the podcast, which is a very public medium.
Yeah.
So therefore we realize, hey, let's lock down what we need to lock down.
It's almost like casual business.
It's
we need to figure things out, whether it be trips together or upcoming podcast topics or just things that we need to have, whether it's within the relationship or whether it's in your own personal life. It's like, hey man, I'm having problems with this, or what do you think about this, or I got this going on, or
my God,
because it does
so sweet.
Do you guys love this?
Yeah, it's great.
This is
it does.
This is my favorite part of any episode ever. I want more dudes on here. I want to get vulnerable.
The man
It goes back to the difference in industries, like we talked about, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't know a thing about fixing a car and racing and all this
Right.
stuff. He doesn't know much about insurance, and not that we're talking about insurance in cars every time we go out to dinner or the bars, but it is his mind works differently than mine does, and mine the same as his. So it's nice to have fresh set eyes on stuff. So.
Totally.
But if you think about it, Allie and I spend every day together, a lot of time, either in person, on the phone. So we have a lot of time, and then we're recording these episodes. We have a lot of time to talk about relationship stuff, friendship stuff, career stuff. So that's built in. So it's nice for them to have that same kind of thing,
Totally.
It's important.
Totally.
it's always good to get a second opinion on some things, and you might bounce some ideas around in your head or your mind, and you think, I'm going to approach it this way or approach it that way, but then you present it to somebody that's in a completely different industry, still is very brilliant, still is very, very smart, and they come with a completely different dynamic, and you're just like, okay, great, I love it, I'm going to try it.
Yeah, and you kind of need, it's probably kind of refreshing too, right? To
Absolutely.
You have that separation from people in your own industry or your girlfriend for a minute or whatever, to just kind of go like, it's a different, like we have a lot of overlap also, but the bulk of his work now it's marketing, but it's for financial services. And so that's a totally different world. It's like, it's kind of a nice break for your mind.
Yeah.
But then on the bottom line, it's like, okay, we're over this. Let's talk about where we're going to go for a friend vacation.
Right.
Let's drink some beers. Let's laugh.
Yeah.
Let's do whatever,
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'll ask you, Jake and Paige, too. Like, obviously you guys are at a different stage in your relationship than we are.
Oh.
Right? As far as I know, we don't have 3 kids.
Right?
But
amazing.
that's
Only
breaking
you would
news.
know.
You talk about breaking news. That is breaking news.
We might have blocked it out though. We block it out sometimes.
So, do you have that? I think a lot of times, and that's what you made the comment that like, oh, we need to have dudes in here that are getting vulnerable. Like, I think that's.
I didn't say it like that.
No,
What was
I'm not
that?
saying
Well, that sounds like her. I was being serious. I love that.
You did.
I want to get vulnerable. I love getting vulnerable.
But I think that speaks to like, that's considered a female thing to have like that girlfriend who is a rock solid vault.
Mm-hmm.
And
shoulder to cry on.
Right.
And that's the only person you
Let
do
it
that
be
with?
known, listeners of America, I'm not crying on Phil's shoulder.
No.
But you guys, men, we got that too. We just call them bros.
Yeah.
But we don't think about it like that. Do you guys do you have someone in your own lives that, at married with 3 kids, do you still have that?
It's like Wilson
Or-
on the
or
Tool
are
Time. Or Wilson on
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
Yes. That is a
Or
very good
are
question.
you each other's at this point because you're married with 3 kids?
No,
That's
that
the
is a
question.
very good question. Do you want to
Hi.
go first? You seem like you have something to say.
No, I don't. I never have anything to say. I mean, I think for sure each other. You know, inevitably, I'm working on something that kind of tangentially is tied to media, right? My whole career has been in communications, PR, and I don't know if that was like part of the attraction. Like I was more like behind the camera guy, she was in front of the camera guy, and so we kind of talk the same language. But as it relates to other guys, I think that was what was cool about, look, we can joke about the movement thing, but her brother and I are legitimately like really, really, really good friends. So like before I started working for the company, and her brother just, dude does not small talk. I mean, there's no small talk. Like every conversation you're either crying or you're walking back like, I'm definitely not sure I'm doing the right thing, what I'm supposed to be doing in my life. Yeah, so I finally just like ripped the Band-Aid, put all the eggs in one basket. Rip the Band-Aid is probably a bad metaphor to use, but yeah, I mean, it just, and it's so not weird that it's great. You know what I mean?
But I think, and I don't, maybe I'm misinterpreting your question, but I think part of what you're
Who
asking
can we
is,
share with? Yeah.
yeah, and like, does your person is your person your everything for all that? And no.
Right.
Like, that would be unfair for me to expect Jake to be, he's my first, we go to each other first with everything, but it would be unfair to put all of that on one person all the time, because then, I feel like that, and I think we talked about this on the podcast when we went with you guys, it sets unrealistic expectations for a person and for a relationship, for every box to be checked by that one person.
Yeah.
And like, you don't want that. But I do remember some things that are important. With the last guy that I dated before Jake, we went out for, I think we did tell this story in your podcast. We went out for karaoke. His name was Raj. And he brought back
Roger.
But Jake calls him Raj. Because we talk about him frequently enough that he has
Right.
a nickname from Jake.
Right.
And we went to karaoke, my girlfriends were doing it, and the guy, he was like a great dater, and he brought everybody back drinks, he was very attentive and lovely, and I went home and cried to my friends, and I was like, I just want a guy who's gonna get up there and do karaoke with us, like, I don't care. And I met Jake like the next week, and it was like, you know, you kind of, but then when we had Cal, I think, we had our boys back to back, they're only 15 months apart, and it was like bam bam, and I was sort of in the middle of being home, oh god.
What?
Timing wise, not.
What? Oh, timing wise. I'm sorry. Timing wise. Timing. I got you. I got you.
That deserved a fist bump. That was good. So, and I was like a wreck. Like I had 2 babies. Someone was always crying. It was horrible. And I cried to my best friend Lindsay every day on the phone. Every day. And I told him that like probably a year ago. And he was like, "Why did you tell me?" And I was like, "I didn't want to put that on you. Like it wasn't fair. There wasn't really anything you could do. We couldn't give one of them back.
Right.
I needed to cry to somebody who could kind of understand." So like, you know, you still maintain all the, and I think that's probably a mistake a lot of people make, is they lose those relationships when they get locked in, and you kind of ditch your friends or diss your friends, and then you're like, wait, we broke up, or we're married and things or whatever, and I have no one to talk to about this now.
Yeah, there's some things I know, like, I know I'm being crazy. I still need to talk to somebody about it, and
But
he's
he doesn't
not
always
the
need to
person
see the crazy, yes.
that needs
Or
to
hear
see the crazy. Lauren's the person that needs to see the crazy, and I'm
Yes.
like, oh my god, like, my life is ending, and she's like, everything's fine, and so I don't even need to bring that to him,
Yeah.
and it just makes sense.
Yeah.
And Lauren and I try really hard to go back to the friendship thing, that we're not always working together. Like, we try really hard to make time for our friendship and to hang
That's
out.
funny. That's interesting.
Really interesting.
It's like couples going out and saying, "Don't talk about the kids." Do you guys go out and say, "Don't talk about the podcast"?
And that's why joking, not joking, but the margaritas.
Right.
Like, I'm glad to hear that you actually still do like them. Told you.
Yeah.
But, like, at some point, like, let's go drink wine.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Shall we?
Yeah, so we'll be like, let's not talk about the show,
Yeah.
don't say margarita, let's have fun and hang out. And I think Brad and Phil have been good about that too, because they are also friends, so we can
Right.
go away for the weekend and go do stuff together.
Yeah.
And it feels different than just us being together.
Right, like we're in a very intense relationship too. I mean,
Right.
we're not romantic
Yeah.
partners, but we're in an intense business relationship. Like, this is an intense time for the podcast, and we're best friends. So, like, we had a meeting in New York, and we're like, we don't know how this is going to go. Good, bad, ugly, we don't know. But then we were like, well, we don't really care, because if it's horrible, we went to New York together, and we
Yes.
had fun, and we're still friends, so that's what matters.
So stay there for a second. So, because you're on iHeartRadio now, right?
We are.
Okay.
Yep.
So is the New York meeting part of that, or they want TV?
Vaguely,
Like, what's going
but,
on? Come
you
on,
know,
break
just
something.
Trying to take the next step in the
Okay.
podcast. And
So is that the goal? So, man, I wanted to go 2 different directions. And I want to know, like, what's next. So let's kind of save that to the end. Backing up just a little bit, do you have pieces of advice or favorite moments from any of your episodes that you kind of recall or that you've taken back to either of these guys? And I know that your mom listens, you don't listen.
Yeah,
but
do you guys listen?
Any favorite memories or anything that you
Yourself?
kind of talk about that's resonated?
I'm a casual listener, so I'll listen every once in a while.
Okay, yep.
You can say no. Jake has never seen me on TV.
but
so
I-
you can say no.
But I do listen to podcasts, so I try to keep my rotation, but I do have some favorite podcasts that I like to put
Okay.
above. Not saying it's boring, it's just, it doesn't relate to like my life a little bit.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like,
It is about your life.
No, so if you've got like a favorite quote from Serial or
some
something
of
that
them,
you'd like
some
to
of them
throw out.
are really interesting and I love them. Like
Yeah.
Dana Childs, the
She's a
medium.
energy
The
healer.
Yeah.
intuitor.
Yeah,
yeah,
intuitive.
yeah. She was a good one.
Yeah.
Also, the sex therapist was also a really good one to hear her story. So
She should do audiobooks. That's
I know.
I'm just saying, it's like I'm a casual listener. I pick and choose because there's other things I want to listen to.
Right.
But their podcast, they've done a tremendous job, and it's really awesome and really good content. And I would be a weekly listener if I was a woman.
No, that's fair because you're not really the target audience. I mean, dudes. I feel like dudes are kind of drop-in listeners for the bar. It's more of a girl.
Sorry.
Yeah,
For sure. No, I know.
No,
He's like, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
For me,
Yeah.
I go back to what you talked about as like our relationship has obviously evolved since a year ago we didn't know each other. The podcast has also evolved significantly because when you guys were on, they were both wild single, and that's not what at some point, right? If you're single for years and years and years, while you're doing a
You
dating
go on my still
podcast,
listening to you. Yeah.
what about your
Yeah.
listeners? So I think as the podcast, I have not ever listened to an episode from back in the day. So pre-us, I have not listened to that. Because
Intentionally.
I don't think that that's relevant.
Wow.
Because,
Love that.
again, her perspectives have most likely
Change.
shifted
Yeah.
a bit because now she's in a relationship. And if you go back and listen to the, what's it called, Men Tell All thing that we were on,
Yeah.
right? Like that, I think that's a big part of it. That's a part of how the podcast has gone from a thing that was scary to a thing that, like, arguably it's like a part of our relationship now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, now when I listen to the episodes, the content, the topics, the guests, they're a lot more relevant to the way I'm thinking because,
It's
I
current.
know her
Yeah.
during the day on Monday, therefore at night when she records, those same feelings or, perspectives are there.
Yeah.
Do you see the way they're looking at these guys?
I know.
Like, you guys are in love. I love this.
You are.
This is awesome. I mean, Laura's like,
It's sweet.
Yeah.
It's not like
Oh
we
my
know you guys
gosh.
that well. 'Cause
No,
I
it's
feel like
awesome.
it's sweet to have seen you
yes.
then, and
Yeah.
sort of like have progressed with you a little bit, and like see it all, the four of you. Yeah,
Well,
sure.
what about you?
Yeah.
Do you guys have
You
favorite
are.
episodes, favorite guests, favorite anything from the
Present
show?
company.
Those are always my favorite episodes. Like when I listen to a bunch of other podcasts, and you've got one host like Tim Ferriss or any of these guys that interview, and then they do the end of the year.
Best
like
of.
these were our best stuff. These were our favorites. Like anything jump out at you? Both guest, advice, news breaking, all that.
Dana Childs, definitely. Everyone loved her. Dr. Elise Kelly-Jones, she's an OBGYN.
Is she the best thing in the entire world? I
She's
love her.
incredible.
I know.
And just the episode, I think people were not thrilled to talk about freezing your eggs and stuff because if you're in your 30s, it's not something you want to think about maybe, but it's really important. Wesley Little is a therapist we had on, and she was incredible. She was so good and just well-spoken. And then Morgan, the sex therapist that Phil talked about, we're actually having her back on because she was really, really good.
Oh, cool. Nice.
We were so nervous to have her on because we were like, oh, we don't want to talk about sex. It's so weird, but she's amazing.
Yeah.
Is it though? Is it? And that because that is one of those where you quickly could cross a line where you go. Like
Right.
that is I know your parents listen. You guys are very open with your parents.
Yeah.
But there is a line. Let's all be
Yeah.
honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you go like asking for a friend or not asking for a friend.
We did discuss prior to that episode.
Yeah.
She did say, "Hey, here's what's." It wasn't asking; it was, "Here's what's going
Right.
down."
Okay, yeah.
Make
If you want to leave the country,
make
for a
sure
couple-
you're ready.
Here's what's going down.
Yeah.
Here's what's funny is I spoke with my mom on the way home from work, driving my car, and she was like, "By the way, did you listen to Allie's Margarita Confessionals or the podcast the other week?" And I'm like thinking it's the sex therapist. I'm like, all right. Took a deep breath. I'm like, I'm ready for it. Lay it on me thick. It's all good. She's like, she had a psychic on there, Do you believe in that?
I want to just
I'm
listen
like,
to one of these conversations.
Thank God that it's not
No, I don't.
the sex therapist. I didn't want to explain that. I'm like, psychic? Oh, yeah, totally. I totally believe that.
Yes, that's
His
what we all
parents are
do.
German, so they speak German. So you couldn't understand
Oh,
it.
like
even
literally
if
I
you wanted
couldn't,
to.
yeah.
Only German?
Yes.
And obviously,
It's horrifying. So last night he was on the phone with his mom for like an hour, and I was like, "What are they talking about?" And I don't know because
Can she speak English to you, or just
she can speak
Okay,
English
okay.
very well, but they don't
Yeah.
as a family.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Bury the lead. Andy, stick with this one. Your kids will be bilingual.
I know.
Sweet.
So what's next? I mean,
Oh, I have a favorite quote.
Oh, yeah.
There was this guy and a girl came on and he said, "Shut it down."
Hey! Love that.
No, but that is something we've referenced.
That
a
guided
lot.
my dating. Like,
Come on.
I swear, because I was going on all these dates and I was like, I don't like any of these people, but I'm just gonna die alone, and I don't even like cats, and I don't know what to do. But I would just remember you two telling me, and you saying, "Shut it down." Like, if you're not
Give
feeling
context
it.
for people who missed
So
that.
when we had
Yeah.
Jake and Paige on our show, we were talking about, if you're not feeling it, you don't have chemistry, what do you do? And Jake was like, you just gotta shut it down.
I just never understood, like, watching. So I was like serial dater guy.
Yeah.
And then had like a 2-year window where I dated, had no clue what I was doing, but I was being told by people that you just like ghost people. And like when you're not feeling it, you just stop texting or calling. And I'm like, I don't understand that. So I don't know if I was rude or not, but I was telling Paige that you were kind of like, that's refreshing. I'm like, that seems normal. Why?
Oh, that's
but
glorious.
if I wasn't, I would like get a text or call and I'm like, hi, sorry, I'm just not really feeling this anymore, and I would like for us to not see each other again. But not mean, not rude, but just like,
Honest.
That's brutal honesty, and that's what you need.
Yes.
That's definitely what you need, because instead of saying, this person's completely disappeared from my life, like, what did I do wrong?
Right,
What was the
yes.
turn off?
Yes.
Hair not right, breath stinks, like,
breast tinks or breath stinks?
breath stinks, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm definitely naming this
uh,
episode Breast Tinks.
Views not aligned, like, do I go to church too much? Do I not go to church at all? Like, tell me, like, what the hell's going on? Like, do I not like seafood? Like, because I don't like seafood? Like, tell me why.
These seem super specific.
I'm just saying it because
He does like seafood, so it's
because
weird.
that's like what goes through your mind.
Yes.
When you get ghosted, you're like, what did I do? Like,
Yeah,
what
dude,
specifically?
okay, so that's okay, so
what was the breaking point?
So I got ghosted a couple times in that window by like
Hose.
hoes.
Dumb
Wow.
hose.
Okay.
Hey,
And I just remember feeling the same thing. I remember feeling the same thing. Like, dang, like, do my breasts take? No, like, did I go to church too much, or did I eat too much lobster? What was it? But no, but I just feel like that's weird. But then, like, but yeah,
It's
shut it down.
you said
Sorry,
the term-
I'm not trying to be rude.
Well, you
Those
said
are
the
the
term
deal
brutal
breakers, though.
honesty. Yeah, I think we should like reterm that to like kind honesty.
Right.
Because it's not brutal. It's you're just telling someone the truth. Like, I'm just not really feeling this.
Yeah, I think that one of the things that we
That's right.
is, I would say, how did you get ghosted? Right? They stopped
yeah.
what? Texting. Right? See that?
So this was 1974.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So
it's
the
like,
8-track
no more courier
player stopped
pigeons.
working.
So
and-
Yeah.
that answer your newspaper ad?
But that's, I think that's
Oh,
the thing.
it says here that Cynthia is leaving me. Sorry, it took a little while for the joke to unpack. Sorry.
That's one of the things that, like, it's kind of ironic because we both met on a phone,
Right.
right? And
Right.
our relationship started on a phone through texting. And I mean, I can't speak for her, but I'm pretty sure that if I was bad at texting, we wouldn't be here,
Yep.
right? And that was my first shot, was just how good do my thumbs work. But it makes it so easy to just like, oh, I didn't see that text. Oh, I didn't get, oh. boom.
Don't,
Yeah.
It's like
I can't even
internet
imagine doing it
commenting,
right now.
right? Facebook commenting. People
Yeah.
will say,
Yeah.
I mean, same thing with the mortgage business or whatever, right? People will yell on the phone. They'll be
They will.
even worse on
Those are
email.
great,
Yeah.
But they sit in front of you, they're
It's a
gonna be
whole
as
different
polite as
story.
they
Yeah,
can be,
you're right.
And
That's a
so
good
I
point.
think that's something that, as it's become easier to like swipe, delete, whatever, that has pervaded
You forget
culture.
the human behind it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
All right, so shut it down resonated with you.
It did.
But so what's next? Like, do the two of you? I'm imagining the two of you over like giant margaritas, like planning out.
Fish
Like,
bowl.
here are our guests, because you guys have done a really good
Yeah,
job.
what's coming up?
Like, I'm with these guys. Like, I don't listen start to finish, but I definitely stay close to it. I mean, the brand, the energy. I mean, you guys are peaking. It's awesome. I love seeing you guys on page.
You're now regular contributors.
Yeah.
Yes. Good to
By the
show
way,
on Fox
I'm
46.
ultra proud to see these women on Fox 46 in the morning.
Oh,
my man.
Seriously,
My man.
When I'm home and these women are on, I'm watching because what they say is powerful.
Oh my gosh!
Did you watch this morning? Because you were on.
I was on my way to work.
My board.
You were on without me. Can I tell you I was a little jealous?
Yeah, what happened there? I thought that was like in the contract.
I gave them to you. I gave you to them.
You gave him
They said so. They're
Yeah.
just so. My co-anchor Jason is doing a segment called what's it called? Love in the
QC.
Love in
Yeah.
the QC.
Yeah.
So it's a weekly segment. I don't know if it's just for February or what, but it's basically about dating all over the
Yeah.
city and things. And they sent out a station-wide email that said, "Does anybody know any dating experts?" And I was like, "Oh, have I got some
Yeah.
dating experts
Yeah.
for you?" So I said, you should definitely use Allie and Lauren. I knew you guys would be great for it, what have you. So, but I wanted to. I was like, but so that it's clear, they're mine.
Got it. Oh, you didn't need to stop.
Oh, sorry.
Right there at the end.
So
No,
there- yes,
yeah, but
they
what's
did-
next? I mean,
yeah.
truly, like you seem like you're super intentional now. I mean, you guys
Yeah.
are like iHeartRadio. I mean, you guys are legit.
Yeah.
So, what looking ahead, do you plan like months ahead? Do you put like a ton in the can? Like, give us a behind the scenes more of like the operations of the podcast.
Yeah, we are in the process of planning out like the first half of 2018 and getting some really good guests and some really good topics and having a lot more guests is our goal for 2018. And
Do you have people on your list that you can share?
yeah. Oh, no.
You added that you could share like real fast. Yeah.
Not that we don't want to share them, we just have topics right
Yeah,
now. So
we
we're
got
it.
searching for
Today.
guests. We just feel like we want to broaden our horizons. We don't want to just talk about dating. We have so much more to talk about. And we don't put anything in the can just because we like to be really topical.
Yeah.
And it's hard, if you recorded something and you mentioned somebody who now is like, Aziz Ansari being hilarious and now everybody hates Aziz.
Yeah.
You're kind of like, ooh,
Yeah.
we can't really air that. So we just try, we record weekly usually, which is a lot of work.
Yeah, that is.
And, we just try to be really topical.
We used to be really stressed. We started as a dating podcast. We were single. Now, obviously, we each live with our boyfriends. We've changed a lot. We were like, oh my God, what are we going to do with the show? But it's been okay. We've evolved and our listeners have evolved too. And we found that the episodes that do the best are when we're providing real information. So, the funny Tinder messages, like that was great for a while, but we've moved past that.
Yep.
And our listeners are looking for a little bit more. Hence why we want interviews with experts to deliver real content. Things that you can use in your normal life.
I agree. I do listen regularly, and I love the mixture because sometimes it's fun to just listen to two girlfriends talk and feel like you're kind of part of the conversation, and sometimes it's great for someone who's not currently in the dating world to still go, oh, this is something I can even like take back and sort of listen to, or could have years ago, or whatever.
Right, yeah.
I think you guys do a nice job of kind of hitting the.
And our friendship isn't going away, so the episodes where it's just us, they're always going to be there.
Definitely.
And we'll always have them. Because what people relate to is we're just like two really normal girls. Like we are not celebrities. We did not go on The Bachelor. We are just straight up normal girls talking about our lives. And so that's why we think people listen.
You guys
because
do
of that.
still watch The Bachelor, though, right?
Oh,
I'm
we
not
do.
watching this season.
Why?
I don't like him.
Oh.
Something about his manners.
Did you watch him with Emily Maynard?
No.
Yes.
So I
You didn't?
came in on Caitlin Bristow's season.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, you missed Emily Maynard's season.
Yeah, you came in late.
We're stalking them to be on this.
So are we.
Yeah. So
Well,
we'll find
get in line, ladies.
Spoiler alert.
I got an Instagram message back from her on a phone call, and then she ghosted me.
Well, she just had a baby.
No, but she ghosted me like a year ago. But she had just had a baby then too.
Yeah,
Wait,
she's
I think
always
that ought to
she's
be a bet.
having babies.
Oh,
That
what?
ought to be some sort of a bet. What
Who
podcast?
could get her
Oh, now
It
we're
is
talking.
on.
Girl.
Now we're talking.
And
Wow.
Jake has to set the stakes. I just feel for some reason he is
Yeah.
incredible
So here-
at stakes.
Yeah, here are the stakes. No, I don't. Borsches.
Yeah.
No, but what beyond the pod? Because I feel like you guys are like rolling the brand beyond just audio.
Yeah.
There's in-person events, which I'm like, this is awful. But I'm like, can I come to one of these? Like watch event? No, but like seriously, like it looks like so much fun.
Yeah.
You have one with Fillmore.
Yeah,
I mean, I
that's
know you
amazing.
MC some events together.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, just like you guys.
You're on it.
You guys are
Like
like our.
you're
Exactly.
No, I mean you guys are on Fox. I mean, so is that a goal? Like, do you kind of set out like let's get beyond audio? Like, are the live events working?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're really fun. I don't know that that's our goal. Like, we want to keep doing them because live podcasts are cool now. Everybody's doing
That
a
is
live
cool.
podcast,
Yep.
and we had super good time. So we'll definitely do it again. But we just really want to hone in on making our podcast amazing. So I think that's what we're focusing in on 2018 is stop spinning our wheels on a million other things and focus on our product.
Yeah.
Because our goal is to go beyond Charlotte. We love Charlotte. This is our home. We will always count Charlotte as home, and we'll live here, and we love our listeners here. But, you know, there are other listeners to reach and, you know, other markets to find. So, yeah.
And other money to be made. That's what I tell everyone.
Yeah.
Several more people to insure. All right, so before we get into, we like to play catchphrases at the end, so spoiler alert. I want to hear from both of you. What is give me like an A+ date night for the two of you.
Like, be specific.
Yeah, what do you like to do? So like,
look for ideas.
Start at 5, or pregame here, or end up here, and then make it out here.
Hold on, give me the notepad out. I gotta take note of this.
Well, we can actually, I'll share with what our first date was.
Yes.
So it's in Noda, so we both live in, we both live, yes, one place.
Yep, right.
In Noda. And we actually had met, so it was a Saturday night, which she gave some pushback to me, but thank you, datenightclt, for not canceling the appointment and letting her bail on our first date.
I went,
Hold on.
Yeah,
that's
context.
yeah.
So Dana is an energy healer, but she's a medium.
Yeah.
And I was writing a story on her, so she did a reading on me the day of our first date. And I was like, real quick, before we go, like, I'm going on a date, is he okay? What kind of vibes do you get? And she's like, yep, I get really good vibes. He's a good guy. He's looking for a relationship. You should go. I was like, okay.
This all started from an energy healer.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom.
Yeah, right? Don't worry, they'll listen anyway.
They don't know how to download it.
Yeah.
So, I forgot.
Date night.
First
So what'd you
date,
do?
test date.
So we met at Heights Brewing. Right? So in the afternoon,
Good
so
for
you know, starts pre dinner. You know, have a drink or so just to kind of fill each other out and get an idea of what the night's going to look like. And then I'm a dinner on the first date guy, right? So I know you're not, Jake. You're not necessarily saying first date, but
wait, dinner? Are we talking? Is
No,
that like code for
he's
something?
saying he said, because some people say, like, just meet for coffee or just meet for drinks. That's all. He meant.
Oh, I love that.
And no.
I want to eat
But
dinner.
all
I
Jake-
don't know what he meant. Well, the way you said it, so like, Jake, I know you're not
No,
with dinner.
he meant your question.
Is that sex?
Your
What was
question
that?
that you just
Right.
asked
You
about
were
date
asking
nights.
about
What's a good date
regular
night?
date,
Right.
not first date.
Whatever, I don't
You're
care.
speaking
Amelie's.
German and
Like, go to Amelie's.
I'm gonna just
Yes.
focus on you.
Yes.
What's the
so,
saying?
You're fine.
I don't know.
Can I be in your guy club? Can we go back to that?
Hardcore Fehling.
All right.
So we went. I think the pre-dinner drink is important.
Yes.
Right? Because then, because guess what? She doesn't have to know that you have reservations.
That's a good point. If it's going well, you can go, well, let's go grab
Different
dinner.
location?
Same neighborhood where we could walk, right?
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
think walking
yeah.
is a like
Okay.
inherently
Yeah.
romantic thing.
Yes. Plus
which
you
is
walk off at least one drink.
Really weird. And so then we put our name in at Crepe Cellar.
I was going to say you should go to Crepe Cellar.
We went to Haberdish. 3 hour away.
Yeah.
Sorry, Haberdish, love you, but you ain't
But
worth
so does
that.
everyone
It's
else.
only-
You
Yeah.
ain't worth that. Put our name in a Crepe Cellar, went across the street to Whiskey Wine Room, which is a very intimate,
Yes, it is.
Yes.
you know,
it is.
expensive place. Harley, shout out to you. We love Harley
Oh.
over there.
Harley, I don't know you, but I'd like to.
Free
Sorry.
ad.
Harley, you sound wonderful.
No
It's your
free
what?
ad.
We have a dog named Harley also.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
But he's shouting out to the bartender,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
we like to think he's shouting out to our dog.
Yeah, you know. And then went to Crepe Cellar and shut it down. In the words of Jake Fan. So,
Okay.
so it was nice. I mean, I don't think you need to necessarily do something wild and crazy. You know, I think the main thing is when you go on a good date, and this could be first date, 100th date, conversation. Make sure you're somewhere, like, I'm not a huge movie date guy. Not a huge sporting event date guy,
Oh, you're not?
right? Because you need...
You can't talk.
Exactly. You need, like, the whole point of date night is, hey, honey, we've carved out time tonight so that
To
we can
do
focus
it.
on each other.
Well,
Well, that you can do that after the baseball game, or it
Yeah.
doesn't matter when.
to focus on each other.
But focus on each other, and so however it is, make sure it's not loud. Make sure that you can still focus on each other during the date.
I love it.
Dang. What about you? I mean, do you agree? I mean,
Get a favorite
that date
places?
sounds magical, but like maybe if it's this Saturday, where are you going?
This
Or like
Saturday,
places you want to try.
I love Noda. I hadn't really spent much time there before I moved there, but I love Company Store. I like
We
craft a
love it.
lot.
There's a Noda company store you
Company
know.
Store is really
Noda.
cool.
Yeah, we love Noda. They used to come on the show a bunch, and they had Joey and Scott. I have not been on in a while.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get them back. They actually are on our list to be on the podcast
Oh my God.
too. Yeah.
I like Dilworth
Really
Tasting
love
Room
them.
a lot too.
Love
That's a
that
really
Yes,
fun spot, a little
yes.
garden
And
area.
good truffle panini.
Yep. I'm trying to think where else. Where else do we go?
Well, I think it's different winter, summer,
Yeah.
right?
Good
Because
call.
obviously, like winter, you can't do a lot of stuff outside. But summertime, I think, go at 2:00
Yes.
and go spend time outside,
Yes.
right? Wherever that's at. Freedom
Day
Park,
drinking.
right? Freedom Park's incredible.
Oh yeah.
Can
no,
you day
outside
drink?
and active.
Can you day drink at Mecklenburg County Park? I don't know. I don't think they really care too much.
Yeah.
But go be active and outside during the summer. Get your day drink on, etc., and then go somewhere at
Can I
night.
just implore the four of you to day drink a lot now?
Oh, we love it. Yes.
Good,
we
because
love
but
it.
I don't know if you ever want children, but if you ever have them, that just goes down the toilet.
Yeah, they're terrible.
They're wonderful, but the day
they're
drinking
wonderful,
thing is,
yeah.
is a thing that really you just can't.
That's
do it.
you.
What?
I love the day drink.
What are you?
And
What is that?
irresponsible parenting is the best. Throw your kids in an Uber. That's a whole other
Oh
episode.
my god! Another episode. Okay.
Put your kids in an Uber. All right, your turn.
Yes. Favorite day
So-
spot, things you like to do.
We love to bike in the
Okay.
summer, so
Oh.
we can't do that now. But we were big on we live near Park Road, so we're really close to South
Yeah,
End.
you're
so
both cool. You live in super cool
Yeah.
places.
we're really cool.
Yeah.
So hop on the light rail, go somewhere in South End, go do some breweries, craft. We love craft. Where else do we like to go?
Lovecraft.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting till it's my turn.
He must have something.
Oh
He's
yeah.
like, he's
You
got
better
something.
drop the mic. He knows we're running out of time, so he's like, I'm gonna drop the mic.
Yeah.
The charcuterie board at Craft is the best date in Charlotte, I think.
Really?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Wait,
it's
where's
like
Craft? Have I
$8.
been there?
Craft
South
Growler Shop in South End. Yeah.
It's
It's
right by
Who
the
have you been
Panther
going to
Stadium.
craft with?
Oh, his friends, Adam, Smadam.
It's his vault guy. That's who
Oh,
he's
there
going
you go,
with.
okay.
I went and talked to dudes about dude stuff. It's in a vault. Get out of here.
Okay.
I think a good date spot that we've never actually even been to, I don't think, but
Valentine.
no.
I like Valentine.
Don't fight it so hard.
I like Valentine.
There is a huge
Foxcroft.
picture of Nick Koser. I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry,
Correct.
Nick. You're a
Oh, in
big,
Valentine.
you're a
Yeah.
big picture
Valentine,
of
yes.
Valentine.
Yes, in Waverly Place. Good eye.
Foxcroft.
Foxcroft is great, yeah.
So great, such good food. I love that
But
place.
you've never been?
We've never been together.
Oh, together.
Have
Okay.
we?
Oh,
Just got weird.
Yeah. No, I was with my girlfriends or
Okay.
my mom.
she was with Smadam.
Yeah. It was too.
All right,
Alright,
first drop of the mic.
what's
What do you
the
got?
mic?
All right, pivot the
What do you
mic around. Come on.
This is not a drop the mic
Oh.
situation, but I just
Wendy's.
yeah right. No, date night. Normal date night for us is we like to either check something off of the list of where we haven't been before, so be a little bit adventurous,
Yeah.
or we go to our go-to, which is either Fuda Buddha
yeah.
or
Love
Haberdish or some other nice restaurant. But then we like to follow it up with a drink. But we like to premeditate it a little bit by making sure that we have a reservation so we don't have to wait that long. and,
Yeah.
so we can kind of accelerate
Yeah.
that
That's
a
a
little
good
bit.
date tip.
And so, yeah, and then after that we have a couple of drinks, meet up with some friends, or go home and watch a movie. Spontaneously on the weekends,
We all know what watch a movie means, though.
Mm-hmm.
spontaneously
Fall asleep on the couch.
I was gonna say it means watch a great movie. I don't
Yeah.
know. What?
lunch, brunch.
Yeah.
Usually we cook breakfast together, so that's a good.
Ooh, that's nice.
That is
Yeah,
nice.
cooking
What are those
breakfast
like?
is
What's that like?
I was worried he was gonna say that our favorite date night was making a frozen pizza and watching TV because
No,
that
that
is
is-
usually
Well,
what we
that
do.
episode just got weird.
Can I just tell you guys are missing out if that's not your favorite date night?
That's
That's like the best in the
DiGiorno
entire
and-
world.
No way.
No,
We
we
got the
got a
no way.
life-changing
No way.
Hazy
No, we got a
IPAs.
life-changing pizza.
What? Shit.
Frozen pizza. Screaming Sicilian? Isn't
Screaming,
that? Yeah.
Screaming Sicilian.
Where do you get
Who
Screaming
makes it?
Sicilian?
Harris Teeter.
Really?
In the
No,
frozen section.
no way.
Yes,
Yes.
it's on sale.
Where do you
Usually it's
think we
$10.
get DiGiorno?
Usually it's $10, you get them for 3 for $10.
Why is it always on sale? It's always on sale?
No,
It's
not
always
always.
cold.
No.
It's cold.
Wait,
Nothing
Screaming
is
Sicilian.
ever
Screaming
Right,
Sicilian
yes.
They have tons of different options. It's so good.
I want to kiss you on the mouth right now. Let's go get some.
Let's go. I want to get a Screaming Sicilian right
That is
now.
our-
We have to eat dinner tonight. Let's get a Screaming
We have some
Sicilian.
in our freezer. So
This will be the 20th out of 25 days we eat
Because
frozen
I kind of
pizza.
want to meet Harley also. I know
Yeah.
it's true.
Catchphrase.
Yes.
Let's
Okay.
go.
So this is how we wrap things up on a date night, guys. We are going to need you
To swap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we go boy, girl, boy, girl. So here are the rules in catchphrase in the Fehling household / on the date night podcast.
And by failing household, she means cracked catchphrase because she was
Always
angry
have
and
to point
spiked it.
this out. Yep, I did.
That's real.
I did because you cheat and I was sick of it. Hold on, how do I turn this on?
That's the OG version. They don't make the blue
I've never
white
seen
anymore.
that.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, good for
Let's
you,
hope
babe.
that
Sell
was
that on
still
eBay
working.
when you get done with it.
Okay. Okay, so Brad, tell me when.
Now,
Oh.
Is it girls versus boys?
Uh-huh. Sports and games.
Oh.
Yep. No, we're good. Girls, we got this. We got this.
I know sports.
Yeah, we're good.
So
So the deal is as soon as your team guesses it, you have to hit the blue button and pass.
Yeah.
But if your team guesses it while you're still holding it, it's their point. It's your point.
Dear God, we've never given this much instruction.
I think we
So,
got
like,
it.
Yeah.
we are-
Very
we're-
familiar.
Just don't say the
I
word.
guess Derek Jeter, and then you pass Jake.
But if
Yep.
you say Derek Jeter and I'm still holding it, sorry, we get that. It's our.
it
Like,
beeps.
you don't get to.
Oh.
If it beeps,
If I
I'm
say
sorry.
Derek Jeter, it's like,
And
that's boys.
That's
point.
our point.
start.
Yeah.
Start.
Okay. Ready? Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
Just thinking of the editing process.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. These you get these and you buy them and then you could possibly win something if you
Lottery tickets.
It's that, but the first word's different.
Lotto.
It rhymes with.
Scratch it.
Nope.
Scratch off ticket.
Bullshit.
Oh, stop. In the name in Spanish, it's one of the names of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Not Michelangelo.
Leonardo.
Not,
Raphael.
yep, it sounds like that.
Raffle tickets.
Yeah.
Oh. What?
It's a game you play when you're kids. You touch somebody and you have to stand still.
Tag.
But when you have to stand still.
Simon says.
Free tag.
It's a thing when you're like jumping off cliffs and like,
Skydiving. Adventure
Cliff
games,
jumping.
X Games.
but it's like really intense and high energy and scary and
High
like,
diving.
but it's like
High diving.
Sean White does
X Games.
but kind of like
Oh,
ESPN X
but
Games.
it's like that kind of thing.
Red Bull
but,
games.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Snowboarding half pipe.
Weird. Red Bull games, wasn't it?
but extreme sports.
Got him.
Oh,
All right.
do you
That's
see
my
my
three.
Because not only
Phil,
does
start
he
us off.
play,
Oh, no,
he
you
also
start us off.
makes
There you
fun
go.
of your-
So, girls
Yeah.
are team one.
Yep.
So
and
wait,
you
how
pass.
did this happen?
Wait,
has
so
to be-
what
has
what
to-
did we screw up? Why is Jake
you-
passing? I guess it's a
I have to pass to a girl.
You
How
guys,
is
you
this
guys
not
should
possible?
have.
How are we? And we
We
made
should've
you
switched.
guys switch.
We
So-
switched.
And
so
to
we
be
should
girls,
switch.
you guys
Right.
should have
It
switched.
should have been us.
No,
two
we'll
that
switch.
switched.
We'll switch. We'll switch.
Yes.
We just
Yeah.
blindly follow you.
I just wanted you guys to
Still
stand
messed up.
at some point.
How is it so hard to get girl boy, girl boy? There you go. Now you
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
Get your
yeah.
blow, yes. All right, come on, Salmon, let's go.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
Yep.
Yeah.
all right. So, what does Tiger Woods use?
Golf club. Putter.
Boy, Phil. That baby.
You might have collected these when you were a kid if you were a boy.
But baseball
Legos.
cards.
When you, at the end of the game, when you think that you've lost,
Cry. Sore
No,
loser.
no, but you say, I'm content with losing.
Losing. I'm a sore.
No,
loser.
this is a hard one. When I'm content with losing. I know we've lost.
I'm a good loser.
I'm a good loser. I
No,
accept the loss. I accept.
I am defeated.
I'm
Yes,
I am.
yes.
I am,
defeated.
I am,
That was
I'm
the second
very
word.
defeated.
I'm defeated.
Yeah, that was the second word, but the first word
Undefeated.
is
Undefeated.
no.
I am
No, you say yes. I've done this. You say
Yes, I have been defeated.
Self-defeat.
No.
Self-defeat.
I am-
Self-defeated?
No.
I'm
No, you-
defeated. My defeations.
Yes. No.
Defeations?
Yes. My.
Yes. My
one
defeations.
possession. Admit.
Oh. Why did I keep yelling my defeations?
Confusion.
Defeations is
sorry,
the word.
guys.
No, my
That was
defeations.
hard.
1-1, here we go.
Point.
I did that.
All right. If you say the things that make this go are already inside.
Batteries.
Yeah.
Not the American this in baseball, but the
French.
No, the other division. Not
Oh,
the American.
National League.
National League.
Okay, so when you're about to play cards, you got to do this to get
Shuffle the deck.
Shuffle the dealer.
The girl that did she take her shirt off at the soccer game?
Oh, Brady
No.
Chastain.
No, that's not. Then that's not it.
Me and him.
Yes.
Oh.
No, I was about to do a Thanksgiving.
Take your shirt off.
If you want to lose, you do this.
Throw the game.
Oh my god.
Oh dear. Swing the mic over.
kids have this. They can make
Toy.
stuff in it. It's a small.
Say a box.
No. It's for making food. It's for making food.
Convection oven.
Yes.
Easy bake oven.
You jump. That's fair.
Let's go. My man.
Just long.
Bro.
They're hugging.
Bro.
If you scream loud enough, we won't know when it
Right.
actually
That's
started
true.
beeping.
I think it's still right, actually.
Easy bake oven.
Easy bake
It
oven.
did-
Easy bake oven. On that
It didn't
note.
go off on when I hit next. It was still
Okay.
beeping.
Yeah.
Oh.
And hardcore failing wins.
All right, now we can be in the club.
There's no.
That's
You
your
guys
chest.
landed this plane so perfectly. Thank you guys so much.
This is really
This is
fun.
so fun.
Fun.
Thank
Lauren,
you.
Brad, Allie, Phil, Paige. Is it Paige? Nailed that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We had Lenny Boy, Catawba, Noda Beer, all the above. Thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank you for having
Yeah, thanks for
us.
having us. This
And
was awesome.
So we'll see you on your podcast in
Yeah.
2 years, is it, at this
Yeah.
point?
Yep.
Got it. You guys will have a bunch of babies. Great. Okay.
Good night.
Okay.
Oh.
Guys.
Say bye to Facebook, guys. Say bye to
It's
Facebook.
7,000
It's
degrees.
so hot.
Bye to Facebook.